Well, that was certainly a race weekend, and I know we got the meme of the well done Baku. I'll get onto what I think was not so well done towards the end of this video. But let's start off with, well, the actual racing. The qualifying being before the sprint qualifying was this whole palaver. I'm not a fan of how they've done it. I know there's a new format they're trying out in Imola, where it's, what is it? Hards for Q1, mediums for Q2, softs for Q3. I think you've got to do that to make the sprint qualifying more unique if you're going to do a sprint qualifying. But I think the sprint qualifying is a silly thing to do because it means that the sprint itself is its own separate part of the weekend. And I like the idea that it all fits into one thing. Like, if you're going to do the gimmick, go whole hog with it. Instead of just going, okay, this is going to be compartmentalized because some people in some teams aren't a big fan of it. Generally, the teams aren't a fan of it because they think that they can do better if these are compartmentalized. But, yeah. I don't know. The sprint itself was interesting. Looks like Max doesn't like it when he's raced the same way he races people, and that continues to both Mercedes drivers now. Though, yeah, George did hit him. They were both lucky that it wasn't as extreme as it could have been. Overall, it was an interesting watch, but the sprint itself didn't really have much in the way of action. I mean, I still can't remember if they showed what happened to make Tsunoda lose his front wing in the first place. I don't think they ended up doing that on the broadcast. The actual race itself, well, once Leclerc had been passed by the Red Bulls, it was game, set and match, and Perez won out because of the strategy over the safety car, but it was good to see Checo win. I think they said, was it first time he's repeat won at a circuit, and first repeat winner at Baku. It's interesting to have that stat, especially considering that we've had, well, every year since 2016 here, with the exception of, 2020. Any other interesting stories from the race? Well, Carlos climbing up the order, Lewis being glued to... Sorry, Fernando climbing up the order, Lewis being glued to the back of Carlos. Now was a surprising one. I feel like Sainz was struggling today because Lewis was just glued to him pretty much the whole race. Spent, I think, most of it within a second of him. It shows that Mercedes struggles that they still got past that Ferrari. But yeah, I think the only other thing to talk about is what happened in the pit lane at the end. When Ocon came in for the last lap pit stop, and you had people flooding over the pit lane. Crofty on the British broadcast was talking about, oh, but the Red Bull mechanics are on the pit fence. Look, that's a findable thing. I don't care. The big thing is the safety thing of having people standing in the pit lane. Like, that caused Ocon to have to panic emergency stop when he was already in the pit and people to have to get out of the way. I know F1 wants a tight turnaround on this stuff, but they've got a cooldown lap. You can get all that stuff set up in 2 minutes. I mean, they already had the Parc Fermé fences set up when George was doing his pit stop. So you can have that bit set up, but you just don't have people in the pit lane until you've closed the pit lane. Which means, yeah, if somebody's doing a last lap pit stop, you need to say, okay, you can't get out into the pit lane. I wouldn't say it's just the marshals here that let it down, because we saw it in Australia last year, didn't we, when Alex Albon came in for his last moment pit stop. But overall, F1 needs to be better and do better with this, because this isn't something you tend to get in other series. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.